This might be a fire hazard. Hello and welcome back to the studio. Today I'm excited to share kind of a review of this oil pastel set, and I'm going to keep saying palette. It was already on the tip of my tongue. If I say palette, I'm referring to the set. If you've been around for a while, then you know that I started my oil pastel journey a couple of months ago with a 12 set introductory collection of oil pastels by Sennelier, and I decided to invest in the landscape set shortly after that. Because I started with kind of this theme of a limited palette, I wanted to continue that and just see what I could do with just this palette. This is a 24 set. There was a lot of repeat from the colors that I had before, but a lot of new colors. And so I had some new opportunities to explore and play around. And I think that you'll see I was able to get a lot of variety with this set. I wanted to not only study landscapes, but also still lifes and just see how I could push and pull everything. So I was really looking for moody and neutral, but also I wanted to do brighter saturation, see how I did with landscapes, seascapes. It was really a fun experiment. The first one I did was this Pears still life, and you can find a process overview on my channel right now. I'll have that linked somewhere. Even though I was limited on the colors and I really didn't have a great color for this, if I could go back and do it again with the colors I have now, I would definitely be pulling in moss green, some of this green yellow light, but I was able to make it work and get not only the pears in here accurately, but get some drama in here. I really loved playing with the folds of the fabric and kind of experimenting with that as well. Next, I wanted to dive into landscapes, and I believe this was my first landscape, and so I just wanted to see what these different greens could do. And I ended up going cool overall and really leaning on sap green and sap green light for this piece, as well as whatever this color is. It's number 87 or 86. If you've seen the tutorial on this one, because this has a full step-by-step tutorial posted online now, then you'll know what color I'm talking about. But this was a fun way to kind of play with different colors, to add some unexpected color in there, and I was really happy with it overall. After I made this one, I really wanted to just go in a different direction. So I pushed myself towards a warmer color palette, and I wanted to see if the tricks that I had for creating a sunset or a sunrise in watercolors also applied to oil pastels. And spoiler alert, it does, but you'll have to see the video to see kind of how that came together. Again, we started with kind of some weird colors down here, but we were able to pull it together and unify the piece as a whole. And it even kind of figured out a trick for creating that subtle glow that I think really makes this piece special. Still pulling in some unexpected colors, getting some aerial perspective in, and having a fun little path to boot. The last landscape that I created with this piece was actually a seascape, and I was inspired by one of the photos I took on a family vacation, was able to get the sky and the water exactly how I wanted it to be. I struggled a little bit with the land and definitely with the foreground. I still need to kind of like figure that out and how I want to do that with these chunkier materials. I'll try again at some point, but I was really happy with these more saturated colors. It was so easy to get the effect of like distance and also like movement in the water, and that was really fun. I wasn't sure when I first opened this set. I was rather frustrated with the saturation of the blues, but really you need that if you're going to be working with a seascape like this. It really helps you to get to that depth and the richness that you need. But I did find that with all of my skies, I had to desaturate it with the white and just kind of calm everything down. So I do wish that there was something a little bit more like in this range. I haven't found it yet. Maybe they have one. In general, I would say like pale, soft blues is where Sennelier is lacking. But my experience is young. Last but not least, I hadn't dove into any of the red colors, and there are quite a few considering that it's a landscape palette, except for in this background here. And so I really wanted to dive in and see what else I could do. I decided to do another still life, kind of going with our fruit theme, and I created this pomegranate piece, played around with the wood, which was a lot harder than I'd like to admit, given the thickness of the pastels themselves. But again, a fun way to add kind of some unexpected color in there. We were able to get this kind of dusty color in the background. It did involve a lot of mixing and throwing yellow ochre in there a lot, but overall I'm happy with how it turned out. I've got to spray these pieces. Also with this set, I was testing out the pastel matte paper by Clairefontaine. I really like this paper. It took me a little bit to get used to, and it does eat more of the pigment because there is like the texture, it has a tooth to it. Now before I had tried this paper, I was using primarily watercolor paper and some mixed media paper. And while those were fine, having used this and then trying to go back to watercolor paper yesterday actually, I really struggled. I really miss having that tooth and the ability to layer more. Even though it does kind of eat away more at your oil pastels, I felt like it was worth it to be able to create a little bit more depth, to mix the colors a little bit more. And I don't know, now that I've done this, I don't know if I can go back, which is kind of a bummer because this is a lot more expensive than the watercolor paper, but I do like it a lot more. So you can start small with this size. I do have a larger size, if you compare, that I've been working with recently, and I'm planning to purchase a size even larger to continue to make larger studies. Anyway, that was my experience with the Sennelier Landscape Oil Pastel Kit. Again, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great place to start expanding my palette and my understanding of oil pastels. If you would like to see more oil pastel content on here, leave me the paint emoji in the comment section down below. So again, I hope that this review is helpful for you and that you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. And until next time, happy drawing.